In this question, we are solving for x in the triangle that is given. So when I look at this triangle, I see that there's a missing side x, a side of 16 meters, a side of 19 meters, and there's a square in the corner that tells me that this is a right-angled triangle. So when I am trying to choose a solving method, the first thing I do is I ask myself, is it a right-angled triangle? And the answer is yes. It has that 90-degree angle in the corner. So then I ask myself, do I know two sides? So I do. I know the 16 and the 19 meters. So if I know two sides and it's a right-angled triangle, I will use Pythagorean theorem. Now, Pythagorean theorem only works for sides. It does not work for angles. But thankfully, this x that we are solving for is a side. So the formula for Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. In my diagram, I'm going to start by labeling the most important side, which is C. C is the hypotenuse, which is always across from that 90-degree angle. So the 19 meters is our C. And then the other two sides, A and B, it does not matter which is which. I prefer, if one of them is x, to let that be A, so that it comes first in the formula, and then the other one to be B. So I'm going to substitute in all the things that I know. So A is x, so I have x squared, plus B, which is 16, so I have 16 squared, equals C, which is 19, so I have 19 squared. My next step, I'm going to go through and square all the things that I can. So I'm going to leave the x squared because I don't know what x is. 16 squared, I believe, is 256, which it is. And 19 squared is 361. On the next step, I look in between those two numbers. If there is a plus sign in between the two numbers, I would add them. But in this case, there is an equal sign in between those two numbers. So what I want to do is move both numbers to the same side. So I'm going to try to get rid of that 256 by subtracting 256. 361 take away 256 is 105. So x squared equals 105. And then our last step to eliminate the square is to do the opposite, which is a square root. So the square root of 105 is 10.24. The question asked me to round to 2 decimal places, but I am going to just peek at that next number. If it is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or up to 4, I will leave it as 10.24. If this number is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, I will round that up to 0.25. So this is a 6, so I'm going to round that up to 0.25. So that's going to be 10.25. And then the unit from the question was meters. So our final answer is 10.25 meters.